Good morning, everybody. This is Monkeypuzzle, and welcome to episode number 67 of Monkeywrenching the Beast. I am where I left you last time, although I've been back and forth quite a bit, at our twin villages. We've got our Forested Hills village over there, and our Green Hills village over there, and our lovely little market and train station that we built these last time, and they've been quite successful. I just came out of a little in the side of the hill house I added last, trying to make sure that this village is connected to over here with this bridge, and it's been working. Villagers have been going back and forth quite readily. At the little outro scene of the last video, I showed you how they were making their way down the hill and coming down here, and they go over the bridge and back and forth, and they like to go down to the water sometimes too, and the golems like to get stuck down there. Anyway, I've played a little bit in here since. These guys really like the Mistcraft shop. Usually it's full of villagers over here. I've gotten one so far, one page from the little Mistcraft tradesman, the Extreme Hills Edge biome, which we had already. I'm sure we'll get lots of duplicates, although that's actually a significant one, because I think when I make another quarry world, when we do Mistcraft again, which should be soon at this point, I want to do that biome, because we'll also get emeralds as well as all the other goodies. I put a little edging up here. I'm not sure how it works. That's some ruby, I think. What's this stuff? Yeah, ruby. A little ruby micro blocks. Just trying to make it look a little less like it's all made out of wool. And it's not. It's made out of rock wool. These guys have been pretty good, or at least one of them has. Let me see. This guy, I've managed to get quite a few proven frames, which I'll show you in use in a moment. This guy's just stuck, and it seems to happen to villagers sometimes. I don't have a whole lot of experience with villager trading, so I don't know what's up with this, but he's not a very good merchant if he doesn't want to sell anything. So I think he's going to have an early retirement pretty soon. And this guy's been pretty friendly, doing good business. Been trading bookshelves for knowledge fragments, and now he wants wands, which we'll do soon. Up to 43 knowledge fragments right now, so that's pretty good. Haven't seen the train for a while. Hopefully everything's okay. At some point I should go looking for it. I had it here so that it would stop when it got here, but I'm about to go back to the Savannah base, so we'll see if we can catch it there. But yeah, I would love to play with this some more. Got more pathways and houses and more shops to build and everything, but I don't want to keep doing the same thing. Multiple episodes, don't want to bore y'all. So we'll work on that in another episode very soon, although it's very fun to be playing house over here. Actually, let's go check out the bees real quick. Over here and show you that I've put the proven frames to good use. They're hanging out, although they are showing wear. But everybody's got proven frames now, which is awesome. And as I showed you last time, the tree breeding, pretty much all the leaves are all pollinated. So we're going to have to come back and deal with that. And I'm dying to do that too. But there's some other business I think we need to handle first. Real quick, let me show you the results of the proven frames. The centrifuge is just busy 24/7 right now. All the hoppers are full of combs, and in the diamond chest we have that big of a backlog of proven or of combs. So we're getting rich with bee stuff. You can see we've got stacks and stacks of beeswax and propolis and silky wisps and honeydew, I think those are called. I always forget. And in here we're actually really starting to accumulate royal jelly and pollen and honey drops. I would start having a solid diet of ambrosia right now, except that I'd always have little particle effects in front of my face. So, oh yeah, one more thing. Let me show you. Sheep, the honey. We're up to half a tank right now. 1,429 buckets of honey. I've been stopping all the. Oops, are you stuck? Is it full? Or that's probably from me messing around last time. The majestic drones. Yeah, it's probably a mistake. But that takes a while to populate. It's so full of bees because I haven't trusted to just B and A them all, even though those are the overflow from there. So I probably should go ahead with it. I could turn it on at any point. When I open that up, I get a big old lag spike. I think indexers are pretty much infinite, but yeah. So anyway, eventually we'll turn that on, and this will get full of B and A. Anyway, a little stuck. Help me. Okay. So let's go over to the power plant and check stuff out here. I'll go into details about this in a second, but let me see. Up here, as the world loads in, I made a little list of some of the housekeeping we got to do. So yeah, over at the Twin Villages, more upgrades, more shops, houses, pathways. I want to put in the boarding tracks for the villagers so that they'll be taking the train ride. Speaking of the train, let's see if we can catch the train over here. So just turn it off so it stops when it gets here. I put in fuel for it. I wonder how it's doing with that. Yeah, there's still fuel, and there's always water, so hopefully it's okay and it's not crashed off the tracks somewhere. We'll find out. But there's more stuff to do. So we got to do Mistcraft Ages 2.0, and there's all kinds of stuff that will go with that. Just basically, I haven't made any Ages since they did that giant upgrade on it. And then we got to unlock more Thaumcraft research. We got to do tree breeding and more bee breeding. I only got to the basic cool breeds, the industrial and the majestic. No, not the the industrious and the oh, I forgot. Hold on. Oh, no. Imperial, of course. How could I forget? And then we need to do a lot of advanced power management, which I'm going to get to in a second. And we need to make some blaze farms. And there's a whole bunch more creative ideas, but this is just some of the nuts and bolts I want to handle right now. So I think we're going to start with the advanced power management today. Even though, as usual, I've taken like 7-8 minutes just to talk about what I'm going to do. Anyway, over here things are rolling well. Everything's turned on. All of these MFSUs are full of power. Right now it's running on creosote, and this liquid fueled boiler is running off creosote, and then the solid fueled firebox steam boiler running off charcoal. So things are cool. We're not even using biofuel right now. We're using the byproduct of the charcoal making downstairs. We're finally getting to a point where we're not overflowing with the creosote, and tank is actually going down. It took running 2 different boilers to do that, and that was pretty necessary so that all these coke ovens that are producing the charcoal from the wood from the tree farm, the Turtle Power tree farm over there, could actually keep making charcoal, because these were getting all full before we were using the creosote in both boilers. But we're actually making charcoal as fast as we're using it, so we've reached homeostasis. We're in balance with the charcoal, so we can keep that one running as long as we want, as long as it's actually making charcoal here, and the amount of charcoal we have won't be going down. But some things are still not perfect. Like right now we're still producing EU, but there's no place to store it anymore. So I'm not sure what's happening to it, but this is still using fuel, albeit fairly slowly, but basically what's burning in here is going to waste. So we need to do something with the overflow of EU. We could put more MFSUs in here, but since we've already got 12, it seems a little silly. So I'm going to design something to deal with the overflow of fuel, or excuse me, of EU. Also, the output of these 36 industrial steam engines is this being channeled through here, filling up all of these redstone energy cells, and then finally getting to the energy tesseracts down here, and then going into these stills when necessary. But right now it's turned off. I can turn them off right now in one of two ways. Basically, I turn off the liqueduct output from this tank, and then these get all full, and then they can't do anything anymore. I could also turn off the liqueducts behind here with this stone-covered red alloy wire. I forget what those are called, but you know what it's right there. Anyway, that sends a redstone signal back here. They can turn all these off. So one of the first things I want to do is I want to clean this up and have this make more sense so we can really regulate what's happening with this MJ, kind of be able to meter how much is going to each tesseract and not make it look so wonky like this as well. I think I'll still keep it in the floor, but without these little protuberances. Yeah, there's more control over where it goes and control over how much goes into here, and then be able to determine if we have an overflow of MJ and use that as well. So the overflow for the MJ I want to use over at the glacier warehouse, which I could get to right here, but I think I'll actually walk you there so you'll see how close it is. And then the overflow for the EU, I want to take over here if I can and start making, use it to make scrap with a recycler, and then be making the UU matter with it. And might as well be doing something, and that's a good all-purpose thing to be doing with it. So over here we're connected with our glacier warehouse, which was the depot for all our original quarrying out at sea, which we spent a lot of our first episodes doing. And in it was our main power supply before, which was all the lava from the nether. Now I'm not doing the lava from the nether anymore, mainly just out of principle, because it's free, and I'm just trying to be at the point where we earn a living at this point, but also because it really creates a lot of lag. You have to have a chunk loader with a whole bunch of chunks loaded in the nether, and my FPS improved appreciably when I stopped doing that. So yeah, partly out of principle and partly out of practicality, we need to make our own lava at this point. So right now we've got tons of cobblestone here, which I'd like to get out of the way. I'll save one bank of this, and I could have decreased this a lot if I had used the extra dimensional barrels, but this is before we even had access to that. So yeah, that's what I did with a lot of our first quarrying. These can be channeled into these recyclers and turned into scrap, and then with the aid of all these magmatic or these geothermal generators, which send power into these two MFSUs, we use these two mass fabricators to create a bunch of UU matter. Problem is we don't have that kind of lava right now to use for this. I could bring the EU from there all the way over to here, but I think I'm going to create two separate systems with this. So let me see. That's a lot of different stuff. I'm going to start back over at the power plant and start working on the simpler stuff first. But I was trying to say that I was going to use that cobble in combination with a magma crucible and be using our overflow MJ from the steam power to be creating lava from the cobble. It's more efficient to do it from netherrack, and as soon as I use up that cobble, we'll start doing it from netherrack, or unless I can get netherrack later and we can just transfer over. So first thing first, let me see, let me go turn off the tree farm, go stop the turtle. I was wondering why I couldn't run anymore. I'm starving. Running around showing you guys everything. And I hope you guys enjoyed, all the folks who downloaded the world last time. I'll put the link, I'll put the link in the description of this one. I'll keep putting it in, and every so often when we've made big improvements, I'll update the link in the download. But yeah, quite a few of you downloaded it, and I hope you're enjoying yourselves. And If you discover anything, feel free to let us know. And if you, without being too cheaty, and if you think of enhancements and all that, please let us know as well. So for now that I've turned the tree farm off, I did that because the power for the logger, or 4 loggers actually, were coming from this. I'm going to take this apart to start with, and we're going to try to make a way that it makes sense. So I'll do that, and I'll get back to you when I'm ready to put it back together. Now that my inventory is full of unstackables, in the interest of clearing out my inventory, I have one thing in here actually I wanted to give as a present to Nilo Rio while he's not watching. Let me grab one of these Charging 1 books, and he doesn't have a Wand of Equal Trade, and Wand of Equal Trades are the best when they've got charging, because then they'll never wear out, and this will repair itself just fine. So I'm going to go ahead. His chest of stuff is still in the middle of the floor from when we did the download, so I'll just, oops, I'm just turning the chest around. We'll give that to Nilo Rio. Now he's got a Wand of Equal Trade among all his other cool stuff. So let me get back to what I was doing over here, and I'm gonna put a little bit more thought into it, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, I'm still gonna be figuring this out as I go, but I think I have a fairly good idea of how I'm gonna start. So we've got our stack of 36 industrial steam engines, which are producing 8 MJ each, as long as all these boilers are going. So we've got 288 MJ that we need to play with. So first off, if the fermenters are on, they need power. So far I have the power coming from either above or below to make sure that there was no bottleneck of power, but I don't think that's necessary at this point. So we're going to put our first redstone energy cell in here. How about let's get our nice omni wrench. Somewhere I broke some red alloy wire, but I'm not sure where yet. Probably there, I think. Anyway, I'll figure that out in a minute. Anyway, let's put that away. Put it away, and let's see. Let's stand right there so I can shift. I got that, and we'll put this right there. Okay, so this needs to be that should be in, and that should be out. Oops, let's just make sure that, yeah, because you can't have an out and an in on the same block, but we're good with that. So now if the max that these guys can use is 85, let's set the max output, let me see, 2. I forgot my little shortcuts here. Let me go all the way to the top, and we'll just go down by 5. So that's the max that these 5 can use, because they can use a maximum of 17 MJ per fermenter, and 5 times 17 is 85. So this should take care of all the needs of these guys. It can input more than it needs and outputs just as much as it needs. So, and then to make things really cool, I actually want to do this a little differently. I want to make sure that, because sometimes forestry things can be absorbing power whether they're working or not, and I want to make sure that this is foolproof, that no power is being wasted. So I'm actually going to undo what I did, and let me see, let me put this away. I was using mine, and get this pouch out, and we're going to need some of these structure pipes and some red alloy wire. Let's take a few of these off us so we have a little room, and we're also going to need some gates, probably more than that. So let's see what we can do. So I'll put this all the way up here, so it's closer for this thing I want to make. We need these back, So let's go ahead, connect that. Oh wait, but that violates that rule. So I'm gonna have to put this either one up or one down. Let's go, or actually one over. So once again, I'm gonna take it off. See if I can catch it this time. I think I did. And yeah, we'll put it on the top of here. Actually, let's get an empty one since we're not using the fermenters right now. Okay, so that's going to be the input. And then I lost these again. Let's see. And that's going to be the output. No. Output. I'll get that in a minute. There we go. Okay, and then we'll reset this. Take the wrench out of my hand. Oh, and it held its settings. Excellent. Okay, so what I was moving everything around for is I wanted to put a gate on here. Gate. That knows when this thing has work. Let's find has work. There we go. And right now that's negative, which is excellent. And when it has work, we actually want to do a redstone signal. Okay, and then go ahead and put that, and then we'll need some of that stone jacketed wire was the name I was looking for before. Love this stuff. Can I have enough? No, I'm going to need to make some more. But this will transfer our redstone signal over here. So I'm going to go make one more piece. Be right back. So I just reminded myself, stone jacketed wire is made like this. You need cover panels. Always drop my saw. And they surround a red alloy ingot. Azo. And you get stone jacketed wire. So let's make a bunch. I went and grabbed all my red alloy ingots. Actually, that's plenty for now, so we'll stop there. Yeah, I'll go ahead and and that's how you make the those things. Okay. Wow, I want a couple of those. We'll stash them in here for now, where those go, and I'll make good use of those at some point. Let's go back and put this to use before we use up all our time in the episode on one thing. So all that for these, and that should go to there, and hopefully that will give a signal to that when it needs it. And we need to set this up so that signal required is high. So this won't work unless it gets a redstone signal, and that won't happen unless this has work. Let's give it some work for a second. Actually, I don't know if I can. Well, I can give it some work in here. So let me connect this back up. I had the pipe disconnected for it. Looks like I had it. Oh, okay, over here. Because I didn't want it to get over full. So apparently, Zycraft tanks can give you some lag when they get over full. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was just being on guard for it. So now that that has a place to go, ideally these will start working. Cool. And let's see if this is getting a redstone signal. There's no way to tell. What I'm going to need to do is break the power supply that's coming from the other side. This one, and people in my neighborhood are practicing for the 4th of July, so excuse the fireworks, but it's too hot to close my back door. Let's see, let's go back up through there. Can I fly? And if these are still working, we'll know that these are getting a redstone signal. And they should be, because they still are, unless they're just using their buffer. But that looks good, I think. I'll keep my eye on it. I wish this connected, but I've seen it work when it's not actually physically connected looking. We're definitely getting a redstone signal there. So, although actually that is going down. I'll get back to you in a second and make my conclusions here, whether it's working or not. That charged back up, so it's definitely working. Okay, so another little nicety I need to hook up then is a shutoff for this when it gets full. I'll get back to you with that. Okay, before what I had here is that when this tank is full, it sends a redstone signal through stone jacketed wire again to this red alloy wire that would then turn off this redstone torch when it was over here with a little NOT gate. But now I'm leaving these running all the time, so we're not going to need that anymore at all. So we're going to disable this. And sorry, I still get a little lag here in my base, and I think that's just always going to be the case. So I'll clean up the rest of that up. But what we're going to do is we're going to reroute this stone jacketed wire to over here. Basically, we've got the inlet for this tank right here, and you can switch off the liquid duct outlets with a redstone signal, but I've got 5 of them here, so I want to reduce it to 1 so that I can get a single place to turn it off. I'm going to break that liquid duct there, and I'm going to put a tank just like I did over there for the stills. And then this is going to need a redstone signal right here to function. So let's go down here and get our stone jacketed wire going again from here. And we'll bring that over and get that little signal ready to go over here. Now, actually, I think I got to reverse the signal, and hopefully that will connect there. But let's do it opposite over here. Let's see if there's a has space. Tank full, so I gotta go all the way around. Oop, too far. Liquid in tank, space for liquid, signal. So hopefully that's doing a redstone signal over here, and it's working. So cool. When there's no more space for liquid, this will shut off, and then these will fill up, and they'll shut off, and they'll no longer have work. So a little bit more fine tuning over here is we also have power going to the squeezers, which are making the apple juice. And I'm going to do something similar for them over here. So we're going to give another redstone energy cell, and I'm going to put it in place and set up the same sort of thing. And in the interest of time, I'll get back to you once I've put that together. Alright, so yeah, same thing. Put the redstone energy cell in line, in, out, not on the same block as that. And then use a structural pipe to put a gate next to the last squeezer. If it has work, it'll give a redstone signal, which will go to this, which says controls. The signal required is high, so it needs a redstone signal to work. And this is set to the max input and the max output all the way up. I think squeezers can use as much energy as you'll give them. There's 6 of them. This will give them 16.6 each, I think, which is a good cutoff. I have a problem with having enough apple juice. I can play with that later, but right now it's running on water, so because I can't even keep up with the apples most of the time. But anyway, so I think that's a good start right there with this half of it. Both of these assemblies will only get energy when they need it, and they'll only get it as much as they need, hopefully. So now it's time for the rest of this. I want to be able to take the surplus energy from these steam engines and send it to tesseracts elsewhere. And I still got to clean this up from its former use. And yeah, also what we did is this should shut off as soon as this is full. So we'll see when this hits 100% if that actually happens. Okay. So before I had this all in line, and this time I think I'm going to do it a little differently. I think I'm going to do, I'm going to distribute the energy this way. So this produces 288 and total. And if it's not going over there, we'll have that much energy to use for other things. So, and it looks like I'm getting a little dark here too. I got to keep an eye on that. I think if I use, let me see, let me get the energy conduit back. I think if I use 6, see that's 5. I think if I use 6 redstone energy cells, it will be a good number because that divides into, I think, 48. So each of them can get about 50 MJ from here, and that will be the max that this can give. So let me go ahead and put those in. Azo. And they most of them were full already. And if they're not, they should be filling up. I'm going to leave them on 100 MJ each for now, just for maximum input and maximum output. And then we need a line of conduit coming out. And I'm not using the tool, just my tools are all too efficient. So and this is gonna bug me. So let me see, let's get the conduit back. And these are all gonna need to be made into outputs like that. So let's change that. Okay, and then anything that attaches to them is going to need to be on another line, which I think I can reduce to a single line, although the asymmetry is going to kill me. I think I'll just go ahead and make another line like this. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so we got our line of inputs and our line of outputables. So then here is where we can start putting our energy tesseracts. Now, each energy tesseract is going to need a redstone energy cell, partly as an energy buffer, but mainly because these are the only ways that we can throttle power through the conduit is with the energy cells. So they're kind of the only way I know of really switching MJ power. I just put 3 because that's how many energy tesseracts we have for now. So let's get our 3 main uses in again. So we need, and actually I want this to still line up with that. So let's go ahead, put this one here. Yeah, okay, I think that'll work for now. I'll figure this out, the neatness of it as I go. But let's get our energy tesseracts down. So this one is the logger. You always have to make sure you hit that. Now, so that's going to give energy to the logger again. Now the logger, I think they're still in the family that will take as much energy as you give it. But normally they're made so you can just have like one combustion engine hooked up to it, which I think gives like 4 or 5 power or something like that. So if I give each of them 10, I think I'll be doing pretty good. So let's go down to, let's go up to 40. And that'll give 10 MJ per logger, which I think should be plenty. We'll turn it on and we'll see. Let's see, this one is for here, so we'll leave that alone. This guy, oops, will be the bees. I'm not sure how much the bees need. Hopefully they'll be self-regulating. So we'll go ahead and leave this on max in, max out, and we'll see what happens, because I've got pretty conservative, the machines over there shutting off when they're not needed. And then the last one here is transfer, which is just little miscellaneous uses around until I get other uses going on. And then we need to get power going to these. Now they use a max of 6 each, and there's 20 of them. So that means we need a maximum of 120 going over there. So I'm actually, let me redo this. We're not using that one at this point anyway. And we'll set each of these at 60. Since they can't go up to 120, we'll use 2 of them. And then let me, for neatness sake, let me go below. And I'll hook up the conduit coming from them from below, and hook it up going over there. So I'll just do that real quick off camera. There it is. Super simple. Let's get back up. Love that thing. So technically, with these two, they can give the max power that these need whenever they need it. Power going in, power going out. Let me just confirm to myself that those are both going out. Yep, and both set to 60. So that should be perfect. We'll see. Let's cover that back up. Actually, let me just go ahead and use those. Okay. And then we have space so far for 2 more energy cells and tesseracts. Let's go ahead, get those going. And actually, you know, I know what this one's going to be for, I think, although I haven't quite figured out how to configure it. So do I have any more energy cells? I don't. Let me see. I know I have some more stored up in here. Let's go ahead and grab them all. And I'm losing my ability to run again. Go ahead and place them down so they start charging up. Energy's going into them. And this energy tesseract is my miscellaneous one again. That's transfer. Set. That's set to bees. That's set to logger. Okay, so this one I want to go to a magma crucible over there that's making us lava, but I want it to set it so it's only getting power if there's enough. So let me think about that and how I'm going to do that. Meantime, I'm going to turn the oak tree farm back on. I know there's a way to go back up to the previous command. There we go. Just press the arrow up, and we'll make sure that the loggers are getting as much power as they need. Yep, we've got logs disappearing, so I think 10 each is plenty. Can we get rid of these? Yes. Okay, so let me think about this a little bit. Well, I think I'm actually, oh, I made a lot of those. I didn't mean to. Let me see. I'm making some more energy tesseracts. I need electrum, silver, lead with these redstone conductance coils. Put 2 unattuned tesseracts in there, and I got another pair of energy tesseracts. Oh, now I got 3. Okay. I always forget about those project tables. But let me see. Do I have one over here? Yeah, there's magma crucible. So what we're going to do over here, and we're back in the glacier warehouse, by the way, is we can get this liquid tesseract back since we're not taking from the nether anymore. And instead, we'll put a magma crucible right there with its output, the orange, on the bottom. And then the input will go somewhere else. Let's leave it on the top for now. And then let's put the energy tesseract right by it. And then we'll make a new one. Let's see, we got 1, 3, 5. So we're going to make a new one that's going to be 7. And that's going to be the magma crucible. Or we'll call it the lava tank. How's that? So we'll add that and set it. And then this one is going to be receive only for power. And then we're going to have to pipe, for now we'll pipe cobble to it, and soon enough I'll pipe netherrack to it, but that's going to require a way to harvest netherrack. So I'll get to that. So let's go back to the plant power plant, because this is all coming off the logger. And over here, you know, I think I'm just going to set this in here for now, and we'll go ahead and we'll put it on the lava tank. Set that, and this is send only, which I'm not sure actually did I set on all these. These should all be send only. Gotta make sure I do that. And I'm just going to throttle this down to the max that magma crucible can use. So hopefully this will all work out. I want this really to only turn on when the others have extra. But for now I'm just going to assume there's extra if we're only sending 30 here, because it would require more gates saying when these are full or not. And at the moment I'm not sure which one to gate. And when they're being used, they won't be full, even though there may still be plenty of power. So for now, I think we'll leave it that. It's symmetrical, it's proportioned at least. So I'm going to go ahead and work on piping the cobblestone to that magma crucible, and I'll show you when I've done that. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to show you that this indeed did turn off. It got to 100%. The liquid duct's still full, so it's hard to tell, but if you go over to gate, you can see that it's now not giving a redstone signal. It's negative for space for liquid, so that we know that then this is now turned off. And we know that also because these are no longer producing. They've filled up. So we've got our shut-off switch based on the tank being 100% full. I'd rather I do it at 99% because of that glitch that's supposedly the lag when they're full, but I think that's also has something to do with when they're full, empty, which isn't the case right now. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But for now, my FPS here is the same crudiness it was before. Okay, so what I've set up is on top of the magma crucible, I'm putting the extra dimensional storage barrel so I can have easier signaling for refilling, rather than over here there's too many of these, and I could put our target gates on all of these, but that would just be ridiculous. So what I need to do is just simplify and reduce all these. So I can turn these on the old way right there, and they're going to come around and go up into there. I've put a iron gate here to divert them, and I can change the way it's going so it can go back to the recyclers like it did before, and I would never do that, but anyway, that allows me some switching. So let's go ahead and turn these on. Actually, this is long enough. I've got to turn it on from both sides, and I had put it over here so it wouldn't mess with my, it was messing with an iron pipe over here before, I think. Anyway, so now we've got cobble coming. It's nice and slow at first until it makes it to this gold pipe, and then it's gold pipe all the way now because it's a different era. And Buildcraft pipe can be all gold. So I don't have a way to shut this on and off But once I get it full of 1024 stacks, that should be good enough. I could give it a return flow, but I think I'll just keep my eye on it this time. And because, yeah, well, I guess I could. Maybe I'll do that, so just so I don't mess up. But it's for the same reason that switching these all on and off is just too hard. So anyway, we've got some cobble in here. So now we should be able to make this work. It's getting power. I need an autarkic gate. So let's go ahead and grab, my last one. I gotta make some more. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on, and hopefully it will be reading below. That's a good question, actually. Let's see. Inventory, empty items, space in inventory. Yeah, hopefully it's reading the magma crucible. So let's look for the space in inventory. And if that happens, we'll do an energy pulsar. So that should be pulling stuff out of here. We'll know when this gets up to 64 if that's correct. Otherwise, we'll have to put a structural pipe with a gate here to send it a signal that way. So, but it's getting power, which is awesome. So this is working from the other side, and yeah, it should be giving it. Nothing's building up in here so far, so we'll see when this completes. It should be giving it below, because we've got that set. It should automatically give into the iron tank, and I'm also going to have to give this a signal from the iron tank when it's full, I think, unless it can tell itself and it just won't be able to give it. That might actually be automatic. Anyway, yeah, let me keep my eye on this and fine tune it, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, it's not working as set up because once this got over 64 stacks, which a barrel would normally be able to hold, this doesn't think there's any more space in the inventory, so we haven't got any new ones here. So I think we're going to have to go the structural pipe route. Hopefully that works. And I'm not sure why it's not connecting, but let's give it pipe wire all the way up to here. Okay, that's connecting at least. And give it a gate. And hopefully the gate's going to be able to read the magma crucible correctly. So we want something like space inventory. It's not reading any of them correctly. Might be from a different space. Let me think about that. Alright, well, this isn't going to be perfect. The space in inventory, as usual, is not working, but the inventory empty is working, either on both of these. Basically, if I take this out, this turns on, and it thinks that it knows that the inventory is empty and gives it a shot of cobble and gets it up to about 10, looks like. So that's enough to give it work for a while. There's only a brief pause when it's empty, so I can go ahead, take this back off, and call this working. Let me get my pipe wire back, and this is filling up pretty fast. I'm going to give it a return pipe just so we don't lose cobble here. Yeah, and we'll see what happens next today. Probably nothing, because that's a lot already. Alright, that's done. I put a diamond pipe on there so that any cobble coming by will go in there if there's room. And it's not quite half full yet, almost. And overflow, when it happens, will come down here and go back into these barrels so that we won't lose cobble. So it's pretty slow. This thing is lacking about 500 buckets right now, and you can see how slowly this is working. But that's okay. I'm just trying to trickle charge the lava right now, just to make sure we don't run out, because I'm not using it heavily at the moment anyway. I'm not sure how often this is happening, but it's pretty slow. At some point I could time it and see how many there are per minute. For some reason, it's not using the maximum power. I don't know why not, because it does have energy stored. It's going up and down. We might want to give it a little bit more power from the other end, just to allow it to be full speed. But anyway, this will keep a trickle of lava coming in here. Eventually, if we figure out we have more MJ, we could increase that, but at least I know some of the excess MJ is going somewhere. We'll balance that out later. And then eventually I want to make it so that the this whole UU matter making assembly works whenever this gets up to a certain point. Like that valve there is at a good place. I think valves can only pull, or no, they can only pull from down here. I think that's too bad, because I was thinking, oh yeah, if it only pulled from what was above it, that would be a good threshold, you know, to pull lava from when there's above and to stop when it's below. I was checking out the gate on the redstone tank, and there's tank empty, liquid in tank, or space for liquid, but there's no actual percentage. It'd be great if there was like 50% full or something like that, but there isn't, so that you could use it when you have a surplus of lava but not use up all your lava, which could be possible too. You know, that every time it's all the way full, it drains all the way for you, making UU matter. We'll see. That's for another episode, but that's some automation that needs to happen here. And also with that, there's also the mechanics of keeping these mass fabricators full of scrap all the time. So there's some fancy automated piping that needs to happen for that as well. But like I said, for another day. But I think for this episode, we've pretty much, I'm sure we've gone overtime. I always start with a timer, and then every time I take a cut, at some point I forget to turn the timer on and off. Before I forget, let's go ahead and turn this one up to 40, say. I think the magma crucible won't be able to use more than it needs anyway. But yeah, we've made a lot of progress, a lot of automation, a lot more efficient use of our power. Next episode, I'll knock the part out where the overflow of EU is used to make some scrap and UU matter over here. So we'll have a second one that's over here, or unless I figure out how to attach it over there. But anyway, by the time I get to the next episode, I'll be more informed also on how this distribution of power is working out. All right, everybody. I really appreciate you watching, and looking forward to your comments and everything else. And I will be back with another episode very soon. This is Monkeypuzzle. Bye-bye.